I'm very, very honored to be here today. I'm really happy to be here today, and specifically of talking of one of like the topics that really is my passion, Mexico, and spreading the culture of Mexico in Philadelphia. That's what I've been doing the last couple of years, and I'm very happy to put together this presentation for you, Building Bridges, Cultural Activities that Bring Communities Together. I wanted to name it Building Bridges, not Walls, but it has to be a little bit more diplomatic, so here we go. As Raul already mentioned, the Mexican Cultural Center is a nonprofit organization that we have two objectives. The first of all, we want Mexicans to keep preserving their traditions or their culture. We want that their children keep their language, Spanish, that they can feel very proud of their heritage, that they can feel that their parents and their traditions are an important part of their lives, and that's why we have all these events so that children don't forget about their heritage. But we also want the American community to know about Mexico, that our culture is not mariachis, and it's not just mariachis and tacos, but that we have one of the best opera singers in the world, of ballet dancers in the world. So we are trying to bring presentations of string quartets, of other type of art, exhibitions, other type of things, so that people know more about us as a culture. We were founded in 1994. And we have a board of directors. We work very closely with the Mexican consulate in Philadelphia. Actually, the Consul of Mexico is the chairman of the board of directors of our board. And our offices are located at the Mexican consulate. So we work very, very closely with them. And what we do is annual programs, workshops for children. We have special events, lectures, presentations, exhibitions. And in 2015, we have 29 events throughout the year. The importance of organizing these events, we really believe that the better we know each other, the better we will treat each other. So if you know your neighbor better, you know that they have 2 children, they go to which school, and you know a little bit more about their family, then you feel a little bit closer to them, right? So that's the idea that we have. Mexico is a neighbor country of the US, and we feel that it's very important that you know more about us as a country and as a culture. So using cultural activities to unify communities, it's important because it promotes awareness of other groups, which in turn results in greater respect, tolerance, and appreciation to one another. That's why we base. And in demographics, well, in Philadelphia, we think there are around 25,000 Mexicans. That's according to the census, but we believe there are even more Mexicans living there. And in the region that the consulate covers, they have 250,000 Mexicans in the region. That's all the state of Pennsylvania, Delaware, and the 8 southern counties of New Jersey. So we organize events for them. And when I started working at the Mexican Cultural Center, I realized that a lot of the events that were organized, around 7 or 8 in the year, were mainly organized in South Philadelphia. That's where the Mexican community lives. And that was good because they were just very close to their house, and they could go to a community center there or a church there, and it was okay to have the events there. But I thought that it was important for them to experience the culture of Philadelphia. I thought it was important for those big museums and theaters to know about the Mexican culture. And that's how I started knocking on doors of the City Hall, the Philadelphia Museum of Art, the Kimmel Center of Performing Arts, the University of Pennsylvania, the Barnes Foundation, Love Park, and Penn's Landing. Well, that's another story, and I will talk about that later. But the main venues of the city, as a Mexican, you kind of feel like, well, are they gonna accept having an event there? Are they gonna let us promote our culture there? And it was amazing to see that they did let us. They wanted to attract more Hispanic community. It was good for them. And the first events, we were very nervous. We were very hesitant to know if it was going to work out, and it did. It did, and I'm going to talk about our events and what happened with each one of our signature events. But why we did that was because I thought it was important that the community felt welcome in the city of Philadelphia, that they felt that they were, it was okay for them to go to these big places, that maybe if they couldn't afford, some of the big families, they couldn't afford to take the 4 or 5 children to the museum and pay that the prices of the entrance, but we will let them go during like a free Sunday or a pay what you wish day, or as part of our programs, we will make sure that they could enter for free. Even sometimes buses will pick them up from South Philadelphia and then bring them to the museums. And that's the way we saw that people were very interested in attending to these events. And now it's starting to be a tradition for them to, instead of having an event in South Philly, they keep having it, but they know that on another day, that same celebration can take place in a big venue around the city. And I'm going to talk a little bit about our signature events for you to have examples of how we did this. So, for example, Mexican Week is a series of 6 to 7 events that are held in May during the Cinco de Mayo celebration. We started this because a lot of people believe that Cinco de Mayo is the Mexican Independence Day, and we were trying to explain to everyone, no, it's not Independence Day. Do you know what's Cinco de Mayo, someone? The Battle of Puebla, right? So we were trying to explain that to the community, and we organized this series of events in the main venues that I was mentioning, the Art Museum, the Barnes Foundation, and I actually have a video for you that we will be putting because of time. When we're having our appetizers, you will be able to see what was Mexican Week. But this week was very interesting because people started to understand that Cinco de Mayo is not about beer and getting drunk, but there was like also a cultural part of it, that in Mexico, for example, in Puebla, we have one big parade called San Mateo Osolco, Carnavalero, and on the streets, people will dress up as the ones that fought against the French army, and with very rudimentary arms. They actually didn't have arms, some of them with machetes, some of them with very, very basic type of arms. And they will be dancing because they were celebrating that they won this little battle. We didn't win the war, but we won the battle, but it means a lot to us. And this celebration takes place since then in Puebla. So during Mexican Week, in the beginning of Mexican Week, we will have this part of parade so that many American community will know that what's the meaning of Cinco de Mayo and the importance of it. Then we have our real celebration for Independence Day. It's actually coming up, and you can take one of these brochures or look around for this poster. In 10 days, exactly, we're organizing Mexican Independence Day Festival. Last year we were the largest multicultural event at Penn's Landing with 15,000 people. We have mariachi, we have music from different places of Mexico. And the most important part of this event takes place at 6 p.m., where the Consul of Mexico reenacts what was the beginning of the Mexican Independence War in 1810. And but the rest of the event is just a big party, a big celebration for us. And I have a video for you so that you know what it is. And I'm hoping that you can join us on September 18th. So. So this year we're gonna have fireworks again. Hopefully you can join us for it. It's September 18th from 2 to 8 p.m. at Penn's Landing, and it's a free event. Please bring your families and friends, and everyone's welcome. As you saw in the civic ceremony, we have the presence last year of Mayor Notter. This year, Mayor Jim Kenney will be there. We have the Secretary of State, Pedro Cortés will be there. The Secretary of Education, Pedro Rivera will be there, because we also give a scholarship. It's the scholarship for Dr. Jose Castillo, and this is for high school students that are planning to keep studying. We ask them to write an essay about how they think, what aspect of the Mexican culture they feel proud of, and how they feel that we can keep promoting that aspect. So the winner gets a scholarship, and the Secretary of State will be giving that day. We also have consuls of different countries, honorary consuls, general consuls that are there representing their communities. And we feel that's a great way for us to feel the support of other countries, to feel that with the Latin American countries that we are unified, that as Latinos, Hispanics, that we can be one. And I mean, from the rest of the other countries, we would just feel that we can be friends with everyone. I don't know if you know this about Mexican culture, but we really want to make everyone feel welcome, that mi casa es tu casa type of thing. It's our festival is your festival. We try to expand it, and last year was very, very nice to see that there were flags from Puerto Rico or Dominican Republic. So that's why Penn's Landing said it is mainly Mexican, but it's starting to be a multicultural event, and we think that's great, and that's one of the things that what we believe those bridges are very helpful for us as a community. Another signature event that we have is the Day of the Dead. It's starting to be a big thing. We're starting to get more invitations to participate in other museums or to give talks about Day of the Dead, specifically to children, because of this movie, El Árbol de la Vida, or there's this Disney movie, right? And we're starting to get in a lot of invitations, and we're very happy to talk about our traditions with Day of the Dead. We've been partnering with the Penn Museum, and this is going to be the 5th year that we're having a celebration there. We create a mega altar. It's very, very big altar. Each year we decide to whom we're going to dedicate it. This year we're going to dedicate it to Juan Gabriel, which is a very popular singer that passed away recently. And we have Sugar Skulls workshops. We have artists. This year, last year was Pre-Columbian dancers. We're bringing a group from Veracruz, Mexico this year. And it's a day full of activities from 11 to 4 p.m. on the 29th. You're welcome to come as well. So we have an altar contest for community organizations. And we also have the Christmas Posada. This is a celebration of the Christ's birth. The posadas in Mexico are very important. Even people that are not Catholic celebrate them, because it's like a way that we get together as a family. That's where piñatas, the tradition of the piñatas started. And this event we've been starting to having it, and it's starting to be very well known in places like the Philadelphia Museum of Art or the Kimmel Center. This year we're going to have it at the Art Museum on December 9th. And something that I really like about this event is that we have a contest, a piñata contest. And this is another way that we create bridges, right? Because as I was saying, the community might feel like, oh, the piñata that I create is something that it's for my children to break it, and that's it, you know? But people don't really know the significance of the piñata for us. So what we do is at the Art Museum, we have a contest, and different families or community organizations can display their piñatas, and there's so there are some judges, and they decide who's the winner. It is really impressive to see the faces of the children when they get there, and they see that the piñata they create with their parents is hang in this amazing building on the stairs of the main stairs of the main entrance, and to see how they like are cheering up for their piñata, to see how they get excited. This was at the Kimmel Center when they can actually break it in those spaces. We really believe that this community contest that we are starting to implement in different things, not just the piñata, the altars, Alebrije contest that we just did at the Barnes Foundation, are ways that, as I said, the community feel proud to be exposuring their culture in these ways. And of course, these places are really appreciate us bringing these colorful displays to their places. Normally, they wouldn't have such colorful decorations, but when we get there, we put our papel picado, we put poinsettias around the staircases. Poinsettias are from Mexico. We really put a lot of color on those places. So I think they are really liking us there, and they keep asking us to come back. So this year is December 9th at the Art Museum. Please join us for that celebration. And well, of course, Mexican food is another way. It's not specifically a signature event, but we do have Mexican Restaurant Week. And as you saw in the video, we have a contest for the best taco in the region. And Mexican food was recognized in 2010 by UNESCO as one intangible heritage good for the humanity. It's that delicious. So, and I've seen that it's starting to be part of the American meals, right? Like a lot of families are starting to eat more Mexican food. If you go to the store, I always tell my mom lives, it's back in Mexico, and she's asking, do you miss Mexican food? And I'm like, no, Mom, I can find here tortillas, I find everything, avocados, all types of cheese. Like I really am okay in terms, I miss you guys, but I don't miss the food at all. And one very interesting fact about Mexican food and how it's starting to be part of the American diet, it's the time of the year. Can you think of the time of the year where more avocados from Mexico get exported to the world? It's a hard question, right? When? Well, I will think maybe that's the second one. I don't know, but the main date when we send more avocados from Mexico is during the Super Bowl season. The Super Bowl. So guacamole is starting to be part of the American tradition of Super Bowl, along with the chicken wings. So we're very, very proud of this to have our delicious guacamole as part of here. And I don't know if you've heard recently, these taco trucks are starting to be in the political discussion. Yes. We're very proud to have such delicious food, and we're very proud to share it with everyone. We might even have a festival with taco trucks so that we keep spreading that Mexican food is delicious. Mexican food, it's good, good for you. So it's part of our culture, and as part of the activities of the Mexican Cultural Center, we try to do events with food as well, food tasting, that type of things. So I was asked to talk about an upcoming event of the Philadelphia Museum of Art. And this is a big exhibition that is coming to Philadelphia. And I am part of the community engagement committee of the Art Museum. And I am not an expert about the exhibition. I'm not a curator of the exhibition, but I want to talk to you about it so that in general terms you know what to expect and what is coming up to Philadelphia. And this is Paint the Revolution, Mexican Modernism from 1910 to 1950. It's a project that the Art Museum is putting together with the Bellas Artes, the Museum of Bellas Artes in Mexico. It hasn't been in the past 70 years an exhibition this large. So I have a video for you. And I'm gonna need it. Solo ponle play. Apriétale. Gracias. Very short video, but this is coming up in October. As I said, there hasn't been an exhibition this big in the past 70 years. They are planning on bringing almost 300 pieces, sculptures, paintings, photographs, a lot of things from this important time of Mexican history. It's the beginning of our revolution and part of after our revolution. As a country, Mexico was trying to get a new identity. The government pay a lot of money to artists to make big murals around the main buildings, schools in Mexico. They were trying to have this art as a way of educating people about our history. So the Art Museum and the Bellas Artes are putting together part of their collection, and they are also going to through with private collectors, and they are getting these 300 pieces together, and they will be here from October 26th to January 8th. And then they are going to be in Mexico City from February to April of next year. You cannot miss this opportunity, and we can talk of ways that maybe you can go as a group, or we have several activities during these months that the Mexican Cultural Center will be hosting there, so maybe you can come and be part of this. The objectives of the exhibition, as I was telling, is to tell the story of Mexico's artistic and cultural transformation across those decades, almost half a century. So you can imagine all the richness cultural richness that is there. Mexico was trying to emerge as a center for the making of modern art, and well, to present visually stunning masterpieces from a rich period in this part of Mexican history. Of course, to encourage the dialogue among audiences about the issues raised in a dynamic moment in our history as a country. This piece is going to be the center of their marketing for this exhibition, and it's Frida Kahlo. She's in the middle of the border. This is supposed to be the border, the wall. We hope this size right instead of with the Mexican side. Here we have the pyramids. We have, well, in Mexico, in Teotihuacan, we have two big pyramids, sun and moon. I really recommend for you to visit them. It's an amazing archaeological site from the Aztecs. And we, sorry, she also has some pre-Columbian pieces there, and nature. She really loved nature. So that's the Mexican side, and she's in the U.S. side, the American side. I believe is Detroit. She was there for a couple of years, painting there, and well, she has all that industrial American modern side, so she's in the middle of it, and this is going to be part of the marketing, the center of their marketing efforts in the Art Museum, so you will see it a lot. And as I was telling you, in Mexico, the big murals are around our buildings. Like, this is the education building in Mexico, and all the walls are full of paintings from Diego Rivera. And of course, the Art Museum couldn't bring part of those walls, right? So what they are going to do is that they went to Mexico and they filmed in a very, very, very specific or with a new technology. and they are going to present them and project them here in large-scale digital presentation of murals. So you will be able to see the actual size of these murals inside the art museum. They are also going to have interactive galleries stations and a robust exhibit website. So please try to go to this exhibition, because you are never going to see something like that unless you go to the museums in Mexico. I was able to go with a group of 10 journalists from Philadelphia, well, actually from all US and Canada, to Mexico, so that they could see the actual size, and when they write about this exhibition, they knew, and they were very amazed on the size, and they are excited to come to Philadelphia and to see if the art museum was able to project those images. And well, the audiences are general art enthusiastic, Mexican and Mexican American communities living in Philadelphia, the broader Latino community, national and international visitors, and K to 12 years school students. So everyone's welcome to join. As I said, I'm part of the community engagement advisory group with the Council of Mexico, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and other governmental officials that we're working so that this more people can come and see this amazing exhibition. And that's why I'm also talking to you about it, because I really hope to see you there. There are going to be free admission for 5,000 public school students, buses, as I say, picking up students from the schools to bring them there. Family-oriented programs, bilingual or exhibition tours, printmaking sessions, film series, lectures. We're going to have, as I said, several events during their Wednesday and Art After 5 nights. We're organizing a flash mob as well. So I can keep you posted, but just add us on Facebook and Twitter, and check the Mexican Cultural Center website. It's mexicanculturalcenter.org. And I think that's the end of my presentation. Thank you so much for having me. And there's going to be time for questions.
Thank you very much. So we have around 10 minutes for questions and answers before we start eating. So if you
I'm sure everyone wants to.
No, if you have any questions, feel free to ask.
Yes. Yes.
Do you work with any schools like universities like Villanova?
Yes.
Do you have any established relationship with schools?
Yes.
What are those?
So in general, we're a very, very small nonprofit organization. We just have an office in the Mexican consulate, and we're just, I'm full-time. I have a part-time person that helps me. Irving also is part-time. He made the video and all the designs for the cultural center. So with a staff so small and an office that small and doing 29 events throughout the year, we cannot do it by ourselves. We need to do partnerships. So we partner with the schools, we partner with universities, or for example with Penn. We get a lot of help from universities, for example, to get interns. We get interns throughout the year. Actually, we had one intern from Villanova last year. That helps us a lot. The way that we work with them is we ask them since the very beginning, do you want us to speak to you? You want to practice your Spanish? You want to practice, or you just want to learn in general culture? Or we talk to them. We also, with the schools, like for example, specific programs that you want us to bring, we can bring lectures or create an altar. I think the consulate created an altar here before. I'm not sure if it was with you or but it was here in the
last year.
Yeah, I think it was like 3 years ago that we did. So we can definitely look for ways to collaborate with you. Yes, there's no way we can do it by ourselves, and of course we would love to partner here.
Excellent.
Another question? Yes.
Do you think the fact that Chile won the Copa America for the second year in a row helps Mexico feel better about what happened to El Tri?
Yes, and we won 7-0.
I was gonna say that.
I don't, when I got amnesia, so I don't really recall that moment in our history. But let me tell you, soccer is very important. Soccer is very important for us. I didn't mention still. We are having revenge, I think.
Yeah.
We are helping the mayor of Philadelphia putting the Unity Cup that it's going to start this Friday at 6 p.m. Check our website for more information, but we're going to have the first game in like this little World Cup that the mayor is organizing. Mexico is playing against Vietnam, and hopefully we play against Chile, and then we will be able to win. But seriously, soccer is part of our culture. Growing up in the small town I lived, there was not so much to do. So every Saturday or Sunday we will go as a family to go watch the games. And when I was sitting with the mayor, I said like we are definitely doing this because the Mexican community can feel integrated, and when they play against other countries, there can be these partnerships or companionships, and knowing each other, it's important. And I told him we're also going to help him putting together a cultural festival at the end. So even if this is not going to happen, but even if Mexico doesn't get it to the final, we're going to be there with promoting the Mexican culture in a cultural festivity. And this is going to take place in November in the Phillies Stadium. So also you can check our website and you will be able to see this.
What part of Mexico are you from?
Oh, so I am from Pachuca, Hidalgo. That is 1 hour to the north of Mexico City. But my family is from the north of Mexico, Sinaloa, where I went to school and I work and I lived for many years in Puebla, Mexico. So I feel like I am from all these places. Another question? Yes.
One more thing, I think that 7-0 was so bad for us because we are celebrating your Independence Day in our Independence Day. September 18th.
Yeah, September 18th. Yeah, we want to honor you guys. Yes. You're welcome to come and bring your flags. I'm telling you, mainly all the Mexicans there, the 15,000 Mexicans that are going to have amnesia as I'm having. So
which restaurant won for best taco in the region?
it was actually a food truck. It's located on 9th, between 9th and 10th and Washington Avenue. It's called El Rodeo.
Okay.
And they won for the best taco. Yeah. But all of them were very good. The judges were having a very hard time deciding who was the winner. But also presentation was important, so they really made a very good job putting a very nice plate together. So.
But also you go to Kennedy Square, to Panaderia Lara, you get the best food over there and cheaper.
Yes, and in May, during Mexican Week, we're partnering, this year we partnered with Kennedy Square for the festival that they have for Cinco de Mayo, the big one that they have on the main street of Kennedy Square. And we hope to do it again next year because a large Mexican community lives there because of the mushroom picking. So, yeah.
They have a mushroom festival.
Yeah, they have the mushroom festival around our festival actually too. Any other questions?
I know you mentioned that you had started out having most of your events in Southern Philadelphia, just where the Mexican families were. Do you still have outreach programs?
Yes. Yes, we do. We do a lot of like there's one day in Mexico we celebrate Children's Day. That's in April. We still have that one there. We want the children to be able to go there, so we still organize that there. Yes.
I'm a big student, a big fan of Mexican culture and Mexican music in particular, and I would not miss the Independence Day thing every year at Penn's Landing. I mean, it's the real deal. It's so good. It's if you go to one multicultural thing this year, they're all pretty cool, but this one is just so grounded in the real deal. They had Ana Flores last year, who's a big star.
Yes.
But I had a question, just because you're, an aware Mexican descent, Mexican. What are your favorite modern music acts? You know, and I mean like just a few names of people across the board. Pop, the Juan Gabriel thing is great because he was such an icon, and having an altar for him the day to day is a great idea.
They can tell you in my office I have Juan Gabriel all the time. I'm really like the older type of music for his time, Querida and all those type of things.
Yeah.
Sometimes I have Agustin Lara, but like modern version of Agustin Lara, I love Natalia Lafourcade, like all the type of things, but more when they do tributes to Jose Jose. So I'm more like an old soul. But there's like a lot of pop music that are good, and I feel like Mexican music can make you feel like listening here in the US. It makes you feel at home. So it depends. When I'm nostalgic, I will listen to something that my parents will used to listen to, but it varies. But I will say, yeah, Juan Gabriel and Jose are my favorite ones.
Do you know La Santa Cecilia?
Yes.
Yeah.
Are they coming? I think
I think they're based in California.
in California. Yeah. And some of the music of the videos that we have, like Sonex, Irving helped us pick it up, and it's a very good a good group from now, Sonex. So I would recommend you to look it up.
How long did it take to organize something like the Mexican modern art exhibition?
That was years. I think they started like 4 years ago. The two curators. There are two curators from the American side and two curators from the Mexican side. We're actually bringing the Mexican curator, one of them, the woman, her name is Daphne Cruz. She's coming sponsored by the Mexican Consulate and the Mexican Cultural Center to the opening of the exhibition, because we thought it was important for her to see like all the work she's been putting for 4 years, right? So she's coming in October, and they started the conversations like 4 years ago, and to decide which piece was going to be part of the catalog, and the catalog is going to be bilingual. This is very impressive too. And then they have like probably over 400 pieces, and they just have to take 300. So to take out some of the pieces and decide which one's going to be in the catalog and the exhibition, it took them a very, very long time. So yeah, years.
Are there ways that student organizations at Villanova can support your initiatives other than simply showing up?
Well, yes, internships, helping us spread the word. We're always looking for volunteers during our events, not just like be part of it, but we're looking for volunteers. We always try to get new members, so that will be a great idea that you can help us. During the festival, for example, we always need volunteers for putting the food vendors, like we have a lot of sponsors, or the media, attending the media. All the types of things there are great ways where student organizations can help us.
Well, and you just mentioned membership. I'm aware that you can be a member of the Mexican Cultural Center.
Yes.
So how can we do that?
Students, you go to our website, and it's on our website there's a way to become, it says become a member. Students have, it's a $25 membership, and you can come to pretty much all our events. If they are free, at least like in the festival, it's a free event, but there's a VIP area for members. So the same area where the mayor and the consuls are, our members can be in that area. So it's just $25 for a membership for a whole year. I think it's a very good deal. For families, it's $90, the whole family, and it's also for a whole year. For individuals, I believe it's $50.